You can call Mark Zinno and I many things, but make sure the generous is one of them, as both he and I delivered $5 best bet winners yesterday. Mark, you had texted me some, self-deprecating things at halftime of yesterday's Georgia
Well,
Texas A&M game. It wasn't
yeah,
looking good, but ironically enough, your play wound up winning much easier than mine did. I had Michigan
yes.
on the money line. I took your sage advice from last week when you chastised me for laying 2.5 in a basketball game. You said just play the money line. In this instance, the money line was cheaper. I got in front of a line move with Michigan on the money line. They wound up winning by 2
Yeah.
against Purdue. So $5
I mean,
winners all around. It was a very good night last night.
generally, when it comes to college basketball, right? If you're at one possession, 3 points or under, and your money line, like 150 is kind of my cap, right? If you can get -3 at -150, I'm willing just to avoid the headache and not have to deal with, a stupid missed free throw that takes it from 3 down to 2 or whatever. It just, it's not worth it. I'll pay for my own sanity when it comes to it. In those spots. So just my advice that in those spots, just take the damn money line. Why worry about the headache? Like it's so much easier to sweat a game when all they have to do is win.
I too will pay for your sanity if need be, but that is a different story, perhaps for a different day.
I mean,
So, Mark Zinno with
it was
sage
last night.
advice right off the
Yes,
top.
A&M. I told you. I remember telling you before the game. All that has to happen. This is great, guys. Said to BP, I'm like, all that has to happen is Georgia can't have their best game ever on the road, and A&M can't play like crap. Well, that's what happened in the first half. That's exactly what happened. Georgia had their best shooting game on the road for the first 20 minutes, and A&M played like crap, and then the doors opened, and lo and behold, we were on the right side. Look, and I'll say this much. We talked about this yesterday on the show, and even though my Creighton play on my half of the double play yesterday didn't end up coming through because UConn ends up winning, and Danny Hurley is a douche. I mean, did you see what he did after the game, by the way?
It was poor form. I know you've
Yeah,
won
it was really
back-to-back
poor.
national
For a guy
championships,
who's won
but
back-to-back
clapping
titles,
at the
hold the
fans,
hell
yeah.
up. Hold the hell up and stop chirping at 19 and 20-year-old kids, you douche. Anyway, a lot of times last night we saw all the cream rise to the top. You and I debated that Florida-Mississippi State game, and we waffled back and forth. And Florida came out and boat rate. Like I really knew, and that line movement scared the hell out of me. When it went down from -3 to a pick, by the time we did the show, it's like something is not right. And even though the line movement was favoring Mississippi State, there just wasn't a world where I was going to let that game be a pick. Like there was no way. I couldn't endorse that. I needed points. It didn't matter, but nonetheless, I think we're at that point in the season where remember lines are sharper, guys. And here's the ultimate proof. You and I talked about this yesterday after we had done the show because I missed it in my going down the list of 85 games last night. Illinois UCLA opening line was -5. It went off at Illinois -6.5. Illinois had a 16-point lead with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. They did
What
not
happened?
score another point for the next 4.5 minutes until after there was under 30 seconds left. It was a 2-point game. They ended up winning by 5. So if you got the opening number, you pushed. Anything other than that, you lost in a game where they blew a 16-point lead with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. What a gut punch. I'm so glad I was not part of that game. Thank God I missed that because that would have been my $5 play if I had seen it.
I'll tell you what, the Fighting Illini are a tough team to figure out sometimes. They can look like one of the best teams in the country, and other times they can look like complete idiots. So we shall see. We have a couple favorites coming up for you here in college basketball. Speaking of the cream rising to the top, hopefully that will be the case with today's double play. Mark Zinno, you are taking us back to the land of the drunken tree, the Stanford Cardinal. They are on the
Uh,
road against
yes.
Georgia Tech. There you go. And I believe your handicap may result in the famed tree sitting like that.
Yes. Well, big time situational spot here, guys. And I bear with me here because there's some important information I have to tell you. Big time situational spot here for Georgia Tech, right? This is a Stanford team, okay, that is making their first ever trip to Georgia Tech's campus. They have played before. The last time they played was in 2000. It was at then Phillips Arena, now State Farm Arena. But that's the last time they came all the way out east to face Georgia Tech. Guys, I've talked about these long cross country flights for the ACC all season long. Stanford is off a win over NC State. 4 of their last 5 games have been at home, so they haven't had to travel that much. Now they got to come cross country. We played against Georgia Tech over the weekend when they played UVA after they had those big back-to-back wins over Louisville and Clemson. UVA came through for us. Georgia Tech at home here, getting a Stanford team that shoots just 41% from the field on the road, 46.5% at home, 41% on the road. That's a big enough drop off here. Now, there is one other thing that you need to know. Starting guard Javian McCollum missed Saturday's game against Virginia with a head injury. I've been trying to ascertain his status for tonight. Brian Power likes it when I use ascertain. I haven't gotten a clear picture on it yet. Excuse me. If he's playing, I'm 100% in on Georgia Tech. But like our commenters like to tell us, well, you got to wait until we get closer to tip to figure out who's playing tonight. So my advice is to wait and see if Javian McCollum's going to play before you make the bet. Thanks, guys. Well aware. Anyway, so find out Javian McCollum's status. As soon as I find it out, guys, I will tweet it out and let you guys know. Obviously, I'm very close to the program. I know people who work for the school and who handle the broadcasts and everything else. So as soon as I can get access to the information, just go to my Twitter at Mark Zinno. I'll tweet out whether he's playing or not, and whether Georgia Tech is a good player or not. But like the spot situationally here for Georgia Tech, who clearly is trying to make sure that they stay relevant in the ACC. And remember, you got to stay out of the bottom 4 in the ACC to make the conference tournament. So Georgia Tech is only a half a game ahead of Notre Dame for that bottom 4 spot. Georgia Tech in a must-win spot here, try to take advantage of Stanford. Let's get rid of that drunken tree.
So Mark Zinno ascertaining, flexing a little bit with his connections to the Georgia Tech program, but we do know for sure it is
flexing.
a cross.
I'm just saying that
you are flexing. I'm
that
very close to the program. I know people
before everybody else. Don't be that douche. Don't be Danny Hurley. I am closer to the program. I know people. I can text people to get the information before it's probably made public.
One thing we do know, sir, is that it is for certain a cross-country flight for Stanford, and that means the tree could be drinking like Wade Boggs did all those years ago. Anyway, you are close. Remember Wade Boggs? Remember that sign at the baseball game? Wade Boggs drank like 100 beers on a cross-country flight. That's another old story we're going to have to look up here, just like the Stanford tree. Oh, Wade Boggs, he used to throw him down, man. All right, you're close to the Georgia Tech program. I am physically close to the Cleveland State program, just about an 18-minute drive from my house to the Wolstein Center. And Adam Trigger will be joining me for this game. I am going to be at Robert Morris Cleveland State. Man. You get 2 people from WagerTalk hanging out watching a basketball game, and I get a thumbs down. It is tough to get some support around here, Zinno. But you know what I'm going to do? Oh, Barry. Oh, well, maybe she's going to be there. Please don't.
How much do you think Adam Trigger's breakdown is going to take? How long? If you ask him, what do you think of the thoughts in this game? You could sit there in the car ride on the way to the arena for about 9.5 minutes while he breaks down the minutia of this game.
Well, there's always the radio. I'm interested, but I'm going to offer you a breakdown of this game right now. Now, since I am going to the game, Zinno, you know what I will be doing. I will be betting the under. Why will I be betting the under? Because a few years ago, I just started this silly thing where I was betting unders at games I was going to. A lot of them were baseball games, day games for the Guardians, and the under kept hitting. So I said, you know what? Every time I go to a game for fun, we're just going to keep betting the under. That streak is now 23-5, including a visit to Cleveland State a couple weeks ago when they beat Detroit Mercy. Now, Cleveland State beat Robert Morris last month as well, beat them pretty handily. And I think they're going to win again. So I talked about the under, why I like the under on the Power 5. You can check that out elsewhere here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. But I would also lay it here with Cleveland State. So they have 2 key edges in this game, Zinno. One is the ability to turn their opponent over. Number 2, offensive rebounding. In the first meeting between these 2 teams, Cleveland State got 27 points off 20 turnovers. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that number again, but defensively, Cleveland State, love what they've been doing. 6 of their last 7 opponents they've held to 66 points or less. This is a Vikings team, yes, that has overachieved this year, picked for 7th in the preseason Horizon League poll. They've moved up 100 spots in the Ken Pom ratings, but they're just the better team here. Robert Morris has covered 9 in a row, but that streak I believe, dies this evening at the Wolstein Center with Adam Trigger and I in the house. So, yes, I'll be betting the under. Yes, I'll be betting Cleveland State. That is my official half of the double play here, -3.5 against Ole Bob Morris.
Yeah, Bob Morris. I like when you call him that, Bobby. Good.
Comment down below with your thoughts on those two games that Zinno and I have given to you. We have a best bet coming up in just a little bit in the NBA, one of the big
By the way,
TV games. Yes.
speaking of commenting down below, big shout out to Brian Mitchell in the comments from yesterday. Brian Mitchell, and we have to again ascertain here if there have been people behind our backs saying mean things about the morning wager. But Brian Mitchell's comment yesterday. Sorry, Prez. Morning Wager is the best show on Wager Talk. So people may be taking shots at the Morning Wager, and I won't stand for any of it. I'm not going to have it.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe he was just
out in the
hoping
open.
Prez read.
Yeah, we take our shots out in the open, and we pull no punches on this program.
Well, my guess is if the commenter heard Prez say, I don't think they were talking behind the scenes. Maybe Prez said something on Wager Talk today. I don't know. We'll have to get to the
I
bottom
don't know
of
if
that.
he just said he thinks his show is better, or his show is the best, but we know. I mean, look, if you rank the shows on like Wager Talk, right? It's like the Morning Wager, first pitch when you and I are on it, right? Then
You're a very
last
arrogant
call,
individual.
Wager Talk today, there's a big gap, between the Morning Wager and everything else.
Things here. Number one, I don't think Prez would directly rip on the show. The Prez is a very good friend of mine, for the record. So I don't think he would take any direct punch.
You know that?
And number two, you talk about
you absolutely have no balls.
He is a very good friend of mine. He's one of 800 people who messages me throughout the day. Not as many times as you do, but he still messages me. Anyway, you talk about arrogance. How about this hashtag not my Super Bowl thing you were doing? I thought that was a little arrogant. But that was a real look at me moment by you. By the way, we will be talking about this 30-day special at some point.
Yeah, we will. Okay, 30 days, all access, less than $8 a day. There you go. We did our fiduciary responsibility. So again, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Why? Because I hated both the teams, right? I was pretty adamant about this. And it actually started as a radio bit, like on ESPN. Like I was telling everybody leading up to the conference championship game that if these two teams got in, I wasn't going to watch. Like it would be nauseating. Like I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Eagles, and the Chiefs may be the most annoying franchise in the history of professional sports. And so, it started as a radio bit, and I just followed through with it because I'm a man of my word. Am I a man of my word, Brian Power? Do I do what I say I'm going to do?
Okay. You are many things, and a man of your word is definitely one of them.
Yes. I knew that the internet was like a mean place for idiots, but you don't really get the grasp of it until it's all directed at you. The amount of people who are commenting on me, my children, my parenting, my lifestyle, of course I don't respond to any of this crap, but it's just dude, you went out of your way to take a shot at somebody you don't know. My kids are 9. Do you remember the Super Bowl when you were 9?
I do. 49ers were winning, I believe.
Which one? Yeah, you said I believe. What's the first real Super Bowl you remember watching from start to finish? You weren't 9.
Okay, no, it was before I was 9. I'll tell you the first real Super Bowl I watched, and you'll like this. It was Philly Simms of the New York Giants beating the Denver Broncos. That was the first Super Bowl.
That's the first one I watched. That's the first one I remember. Okay,
well, there you go. I'll tell you what.
My God, I took my kids bowling to the arcade and to the movies. For a 9-year-old, that's heaven. That's nirvana. That's the equivalent of a hooker and blow for us.
We're saying the quiet parts out loud now, apparently.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But my point is, I took my kids to. So what? They missed the Super. They're never going to remember it anyway.
You should not take shots at Zinno's kids. That's not cool, man. On any social media platform. Well, you're a tough guy. Well, they can. Wow. All right. There we go. Okay. Who was under that helmet, sir? All right. Anyway, Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. Didn't he have some trouble years ago? Okay. Anyway, Charlie. Well, yes, I think. Well, he wouldn't bother putting the helmet on. Anyway, we do have a best bet to get to in the show. That is the point of this program. The best bet is not hookers, nor is it blow. It is the over in San Antonio and Boston. If this bet wins, maybe you can buy some hookers and blow. I don't know, but this is a TV game. It's on ESPN. Zinno, it's a high total. It's a high total, though, for a reason. The Celtics, interestingly enough, scored 130-plus points on San Antonio both meetings last year, and neither went over because the Spurs did score. And the Spurs are a better team this year. We think this one's going up and over. Tell the people why.
Well, usually it goes up and over because it's high. like hookers and blow. No, I kid. Look, here's the thing. You have a San Antonio team that's better offensively, right? Now they're certainly better offensively now with De'Aaron Fox at the helm. San Antonio's at the end of a long 6-game road trip. Last game, you know they got tired legs. You know they're not going to play a ton of defense. That's enough for me to look at this and go, okay, you have a very competent Boston offense here, and one that's going to go up against a tired, weary sort of San Antonio defense. Again, we take these younger teams where these games matter to them, and they want to try to win them. You know, it actually leans San Antonio plus the points in this game. I think they can actually keep it close because I just don't think Boston genuinely cares, right? Like I don't think they genuinely care about winning this game
Only
by
16
margin.
and 10 at home.
Yeah, I mean they're not
Straight
great.
up.
I mean they got a game. They got a game against Philly coming up on Thursday. More of a little bit of a rivalry game on the road before they play Philly and the Knicks back to back. This is not like a game that I think that Boston's going to hyper focus on. But San Antonio can keep this thing close. So as long as they're pushing the pace, both of these teams can do their part to get over this number.
You mentioned this is the end of a 6-game road trip for San Antonio. Zinno, 4 of the previous 5 games on this trip have seen at least 233 total points scored. The last one against the Washington Wizards saw 252 points scored. So a lot of points have been scored in San Antonio games on this road trip. All right, that's your best bet. Comment down below what you think of it. Smash that like button if you agree with it. And yes, as Zinno and I were ranting about many things, you probably saw there is a 30-day all access currently available. Less than $8 per day. What a deal. This gives you every play your favorite WagerTalk handicapper releases over the next month.
I take umbrage with who they put in that photo.
Okay.
Why are we not there?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
don't
usually,
see any
I usually make the photos. I usually make
Do
the
you?
photos. Yes, I usually
Oh,
do.
you
I
like
think I'm
okay.
gonna,
You don't create them. You actually make your picture makes it in the photo. No,
you think I know how to make a graphic? You're lucky I know how to turn this computer on every day.
I'm dead set against some of the people in that photo.
Okay, now you're being mean-spirited here, I think. You know, they're all okay.
Well,
I don't
that
know
would
if
have been a better picture for the photo, honestly. You, me, and that.
30-day all.
That would have been.
30
That would sell a lot more. If they put the morning wager with the hot dog girl, people would buy the 30-day all access pass.
I don't know what you're getting 30 days from her, hot dogs perhaps, but from us, 30 days gets you every single play your favorite WagerTalk handicapper releases, all sports, and it is just $239 for that 30-day pass discount. Take advantage. WT.buzz/MZ, WT.buzz/BP are the places to go, and that is going to do it for this show. We appreciate your support. Until next time, let's catch the tickets.